Well, 2024 has arrived, so I thought I'd take a look at some of the new adventure bikes that will be hitting the showrooms this year. A couple of these are already with us, but because they are 2024 model year bikes, I've included them in this video. Oh, and these are all listed alphabetically, by the way. There is no order of preference on these bikes whatsoever. My plan is to ride all of these bikes at some point during this year and bring you a full detailed review. One of those bikes I've already done, and I'll leave a link on the screen when we get to that relevant part in the video. I've also gone for bikes that would traditionally be pigeonholed into the adventure category, as much as I dislike putting things into boxes. So let's get straight into it. I'll start with BMW and what was obviously one of the biggest pieces of news to land at the tail end of last year, the R1300 GS. Arguably the most popular big adventure bike in the world has had a complete overhaul. It's more powerful, more compact and lighter, but the styling has upset quite a few people. Personally, I'm a fan of the new look, and in the metal I think they look much better than they do in pictures. There are 4 flavours available, starting with the standard R1300 GS that retails for £15,990 here in the UK. The GS Trophy is more off-road focused. The Triple Black is aimed at those people who want to travel with all of the mod cons. The Option 719 Tramontana offers a similar experience, but effectively in designer clothing. The outgoing R1250 GS is a hard act to follow, but BMW have been brave to continue to push on such a well-rounded and loved machine. From all of the reviews seen so far, it looks like they've excelled themselves, and it's going to be a bike that continues to sell by the bucket load. Also from BMW comes the all-new F800 and F900 GS and GSA models. Again, a complete revamp of the mid-size models. They replaced the outgoing 750 and 850 with a little bump in CC. The F900 really caught my eye. I think it's a very purposeful looking machine. It's lost 14 kilograms of weight from the F850 and it features fully adjustable shower suspension. The F800 GS starts at a very reasonable 9,995. The F900 GS is 11,995, and the F900 GSA with its 23 litre tank will set you back £12,350. I'm really looking forward to trying the F900 GS. If it rides as good as it looks, it's going to be an absolute winner. Moving over to China now, and the CFMoto 450 MT. Chinese bikes get a bit of a hard time, and in lots of cases it is deserved. But CFMoto are a brand that are trying hard to buck that trend. The new 450 MT is rumoured to arrive in the first quarter of 2024 and looks to shake up the market at the lighter end of the adventure scale. The styling is modern and well proportioned, with a 449cc parallel twin 270 degree crankshaft engine putting out 43 horsepower and 44 newton meters of torque. It offers 200 mil of travel from its KYB suspension and a 21 18-inch wheel setup using tubeless rims. It looks pretty well spec'd too, but at this current moment there is no indication of price. It could be an interesting machine to watch though. Back to Europe now, and a couple of offerings from Ducati which are tweaks of existing bikes effectively. Let's start with the Desert X Rally, which takes the already popular Adventurer and makes it just a bit more extreme. This seems to be a theme with a lot of manufacturers, and I'm wondering if it's being driven by the consumer or by the factory itself. The Desert X was already a very capable bike off-road, and I suspect anyone held back by its performance is likely to be riding where it's better to take an enduro. Nonetheless, the Rally has 20mm more suspension travel, taking it up to 250mm. Lighter and stronger laced wheels also feature amongst its more aggressive parts lineup. It does look fantastic, but at 18,995 I wonder how many owners will really want to give this a battering in the dirt. The Multistrada also gets another model for 2024, taking the range to 9 bikes in total. I wasn't sure if I'd include the V4S Grand Tourer in this list, but if you want to adventure and not stray too far from the tarmac, this is a hell of a motorcycle. The V4 motor is well known, and its 170 horsepower and 125 Nm of torque offers an intoxicating riding experience. The Grand Tour comes with pretty much everything you could ever need or want, including adaptive cruise control, blind spot detection, side cases, centre stand, tyre pressure monitoring, spotlights, heated seat and grips, etc, etc. If you want to travel in style very quickly with all the kit, then the Multistrada V4S Grand Tour will cost you £23,595. Back to Asia and Japan, to be precise, for a couple of new Hondas. The NX500 is a direct replacement for the venerable CB500X, which has proved to be a very popular, reliable and much loved motorcycle. Engine wise, it's the same as the outgoing model, but with a different map to improve the acceleration feel. It's 3 kilograms lighter and a little slimmer, and it has a TFT screen with phone connection. It looks like the Transalp's younger sibling, which is no bad thing. I think it's a handsome looking bike, and it's sure to continue to sell as well as the CB500X it replaces, and it will cost just £6,799 when it hits the showrooms. The Africa Twin also gets a little tweak for both models. The CRF 1100L now has an adjustable windscreen, which is a welcome addition. It also comes as standard with tubeless rims, which I know will make a lot of people happy, myself included. There's also an ES version which brings the electronic suspension from the Adventure Sports model. It is still the more off-road focused model in the range, but there's a few more creature comforts now. The standard version retails at £13,199, with the ES jumping the price to £14,699. If you want the DCT gearbox, that's only available in conjunction with the ES, and that bike will set you back £15,899. The big tweak to the Adventure Sports model is the switch from a 21-inch front wheel to a 19-inch one, which seems to have got a few people hot under the collar, but it makes perfect sense to me. Let's be honest, it was always the more road focused model, and having a 110-90-19 front tyre instead of a 90-90-21 should offer better handling on the tarmac. It's had a retune to offer more mid-range torque, not that the old bike was lacking in that category, but this is also welcomed. The seat height is lower at 835mm, but is adjustable up to 855mm, and the fairing profile has been reworked. Electronic suspension is standard on the Adventure Sports model, and the bike starts at £16,299 for the manual and is £17,599 for the DCT. I still think it's one of the best looking adventure bikes on the market, and I'm looking forward to riding it on the launch at the end of January. Talking about good looking adventure bikes, next on the list is the Moto Guzzi Stelvio. The Italian manufacturer has revived the iconic name on a bike that is largely based around the V100 Mandello. The 1042cc V-twin pushes out 113 horsepower, which drives that back wheel through a shaft drive. A 19-inch front wheel, 21-litre tank, cornering ABS and traction control, and radar-assisted cruise control all point towards a very capable long-distance tourer that will take on easy gravel trails too. It's a very good looking bike with a front end that reminds me of the Aprilia Touareg, and I'm definitely looking forward to swinging my leg over one when the chance arises. Staying in Italy but with a distinct Chinese flavour comes the Moto Morini X-Cape 1200. It's a bike that, although it's designed in Italy, is built by Zhongnian in China, and there's not much in the way of details available at the moment, to be honest. The 1200cc engine is said to put out around 125 horsepower, and the bike will feature Brembo Stylium calipers, a big TFT screen, and a 6-axis IMU, which should mean cornering ABS and cornering traction control. Details around suspension, weight and price are still to be announced, but if the build quality matches the spec and the price is competitive, it could be an interesting option to watch. Now for some full-blooded 100% Italian adventuring in the form of the MV Agusta LXP Orioli. Described as a luxury all-terrain motorcycle, this 124 horsepower 931cc triple powered bike is initially going to be limited to just 500 units. Whether it then goes into general production is a question that is yet to be answered. Sachs supplied a suspension which offers 210mm of travel, Brembo offer up Stylema calipers and the rims are from Takasago. It comes fully kitted with a 7-inch TFT display with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity, cruise and launch control, 8 levels of traction control, crash bars, turn-by-turn navigation, aluminium side cases and a clever Mobisat anti-theft system. There's also a pretty tasty looking Terminioni exhaust. Looks wise, it's actually very reminiscent of the Africa Twin, which is no bad trait to have, and it's expected to be priced at around £26,000. It seems like a bit of a show pony, so it'll be interesting to see how it performs in the real world. This is one bike on the list that I'm very, very unlikely to get to ride. Royal Enfield have given the Himalayan a ground-up refresh for 2024. It features an all-new 452cc water-cooled twin, which makes 40 horsepower, a big increase over the 24 horsepower of the previous model. It remains a simple bike at heart, but there definitely seems to be a pickup in the quality of the components. Showa suspension, switchable ABS and a TFT display all feature. It's got a slicker looking design and looks much more svelte than the outgoing Himalayan, although it is still a stout 181 kilograms dry. If you're after a no-nonsense, rugged, go-anywhere machine for not a lot of money, this looks like a very hard bike to beat. Suzuki next with the new V-Strom 800 RE, which is a bike I rode at the launch in France last year, and there is a full review on my channel which I'll add a link to on the screen. This is the more road-orientated version of the 800DE and features a smaller 19-inch front wheel with tubeless tyres, but with the right tyres it can venture a little way onto the dirt as long as it's pretty smooth, because it only offers 150mm of travel. But with its larger screen, lower seat height and road bias suspension, it makes for a very good adventure tourer, and it's priced decently at £9,699. It is great fun to ride, and there's a nice amount of mid-range torque delivery from the 776cc engine. We're closing in to the end of the list, and Triumph offer up the next bike in the form of an updated Tiger 900. Again, more of an evolution of the existing model, but the range has been simplified with just 3 offerings. There's the road-focused GT and GT Pro, and the off-road focused Rally Pro, which is what I'll concentrate on in this video. At £14,495, the Rally Pro is the most off-road capable middleweight adventure bike that Triumph offer. The 888cc 3-cylinder engine puts out 106 horsepower, which is 13% up on the outgoing model, as well as 90 Nm of torque. It weighs in at 228 kilograms, ready to roll, and with an 860mm seat height it should be reasonably manageable given its dirt-friendly 240mm front and 230mm rear wheel travel. It's not short on tech either, with enhanced braking, cornering ABS and traction control, tyre pressure monitoring, quick shifter, heated grips, heated seat and 6 riding modes. It's a pretty smart looking machine too, especially in this grey red black colour scheme. A handsome bike with decent performance and a high level of kit means it should be popular. Yamaha provide the last 2 bikes on the list, both of which are new versions of the Tenere 700, and they aim at, I guess, 2 extremes of the market. The aptly named Extreme at one end is definitely for those looking to really get stuck in on the dirt. Its high level mudguard is the first clue, backed up by long travel adjustable KYB suspension offering 230mm of travel at the front and 220mm at the rear. The standard 2-piece seat is replaced with a flat rally style 1-piece version that features an extra 20mm of padding. This, however, does take the seat height up to a whopping 910mm. Mechanically, the rest of the bike is the same as the standard Tenere, and the Extreme will cost £10,900. At the other end of the Tenere range is the new Explore model, which is aimed at adventurers who are likely to spend more of their riding pounding the pavement. As such, it's lower with a seat height of 860mm, which is 15mm lower than the standard bike, but it still offers a decent 190mm of front and 180mm of rear suspension travel. To make things more comfortable on long stretches, it's fitted with a taller touring screen and a quick shifter as standard. There's also side carriers pre-fitted, giving you the option to fit either Yamaha's aluminium or soft side bags as an option, or of course you can go with a different third-party version. The Explorer looks like a good option for those that found the standard Tenere just a little too tall. It's available in just one colour, although that is the lovely tech camo, and is priced at £10,800. I couldn't go into too much details, obviously that would have made this video way too long, but as I said, I hope to be riding all of these bikes, maybe with one exception, throughout the year, and I'll bring you more detailed individual reviews with my verdict on the bike. I'd also love to hear your comments on this list of bikes, so drop those in the comment section down below, along with any questions that you may have. And all that leaves me to say is, until next time, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.